Everybody, welcome to our second week's lesson video. I know some of us had trouble last week accessing the different resources or the videos themselves. I've tried a couple different things now for this week that I'll explain at the end of the video. I did a lot of research last week, and hopefully the many different ways that I have the videos posted will make them accessible to everyone. But like I said, I'll talk about all of that at the end of the video after our lesson happens. I think our biggest problem last week was just everyone trying to get on Teams at once and access these things all at the same time, which was annoying, but at the same time, I was so happy to see how many people were just excited to get back to learning and getting their schoolwork done and seeing videos from their teachers and lessons from their teachers and just everyone who was so ready to continue learning. And I thought that that was great, even though, like I said, it was kind of annoying that we did have that little bit of technical trouble. So our lesson for this week is going to be tempo. Tempo is how fast or slow the music goes. We've talked about this before, and it basically is, like I said, how fast or slow the music goes. When we talk about tempo, along with other things that we talk about, like dynamics or different expressive markings, we talk about these things using Italian words. And that is because everyone who learns music the way that we do learns these Italian words. And it kind of unifies us all. People living in countries that don't speak English can play or perform or sing music composed by someone who does only speak English and make it sound the way that they composed it to sound. We hear English and Spanish speakers can perform music that was composed by someone who speaks Italian or German or French and still be able to perform that music the way that the composer wanted it performed. And that's because we are all unified in using these Italian words. And the reason that we use Italian words is because we look at Italy as one of the oldest countries and civilizations in the world in history, and it kind of was the center of artistic creativity. So painting and sculpting art in that way, writers, composers, they would go to Italy to learn, or they would be Italian and learn in Italy already. And so that kind of was how it started. It was agreed that Italian would be the language that they used. Some of you might notice I have a princess band-aid on. I have a paper cut. It's no big deal, but I know some of you will wonder the whole video why I have a band-aid. So it's just a paper cut from when I was sitting, writing, planning with all of my papers on my coffee table desk that I have now in my bedroom, which is now also my office, and I know you all know what that's like. So the three tempos we're going to be talking about today are Adagio, Andante, and Allegro. Adagio is slow. Oops, don't look at the bottom yet. Don't peek. Adagio is slow. Andante is medium or a walking tempo, and Allegro is fast. The way that we are going to explore these tempos is I've found videos on YouTube from Carnival of the Animals, and the longest video is like 2 minutes, so they're not long at all, but they give us a really nice, clear example of slow, medium, and fast. And we're going to watch them together. While we're watching, I need you to keep a steady beat. You can choose to keep a steady beat by patting your hands on your lap. You can choose a marker. I have tons of whiteboard markers in front of me right now. You could choose the golden lipstick because your students voted on gold for you to wear and you have it on the table in front of you because you just put it on right before the video. So you have your gold lipstick that you can use. Colored pencils, regular pencils. You can tap on your baby brother that's sitting next to you, or your dog that's near you, or your couch, or whatever you want. But the easiest way for us to feel the tempo is to put it in your body. If you want to march, you can march. If you want to do some silly arm movements or something, just make sure that they match the steady beat. I am going to make my screen smaller, and I'm going to put it down at the corner of the video so you can still see me. And I'm going to keep the steady beat with the help of our Mickey Mouse Mouseketeer that we usually use as our talking piece. I brought him home so that he could still be around and keep an eye on our class as we go through our online class. So he's going to keep a steady beat for you as like a conductor, his steady beat there, so you can keep an eye. But yes, I'm going to show you the videos so that you're not just staring at my face for a bunch of minutes, because you already have to do that a lot with watching the videos, and you had to do it a lot in class too. So just to keep it a little bit interesting. But I do want you to keep that steady beat. It's something that we practice all the time, but it is a great skill to have, because if you're at a rock concert or you're at another kind of concert and you're clapping along with the beat, you don't want to be that one person that's clapping not on the beat. So we practice so you don't ever have to be that person. I'm only joking, but you know I'm not. Okay, so I have my notes down here that I'm looking, so if you see me glancing down, it's just looking at my notes. So before we start, I want you to know what we're listening to. We are going to be listening to pieces from The Carnival of the Animals, which was composed by Camille Saint-Saëns. We've talked about Camille Saint-Saëns before when we talked about Danse Macabre around Halloween time, and we listened to the piece and watched the active listening map and kept a tally of the different instruments that played the different sections when we learned the first time about instruments of the orchestra. So I'm going to make my window smaller, and there you can see a couple pictures of Camille Saint-Saëns at different various ages. One of them has some color. That's the one that I pulled up to be a little bigger. He was born in the 1800s and died in the early 1900s. I think he was born in 1835, somewhere around there. Died around, 1853. Now I don't remember. It's okay, you can Google it. So anyway, we're going to start with The Elephant. Carnival of the Animals is a suite, which means it's a series of compositions, a series of pieces that are connected. And this one is connected because the theme is animals. So we're going to start with The Elephant. You're going to see some instruments, you're going to see a conductor, and then you're going to see a little bit of silliness just to keep our entertainment, because we don't want to be bored when we're doing school at home. So to keep it extra exciting. And don't forget that Mickey Mouse is here in the corner, and he's keeping that steady beat. You can change it up. You can start on your lap. You can move to your toes. You can move to your elbows. You can do it on your nose. I can't do this backwards. Your nose or your ears or your head, whatever you want to do. But do keep the steady beat, because I really want you to feel in your body how different these three tempos are that we are going to explore. So this is Adagio, and it is slow. And this animal that has inspired this tempo and this piece is the elephant. You can see the string basses start us off. Very Grandpa Bear, 5th grade. So you can see that one was pretty slow. The elephant, pretty slow. The next one that we're going to watch is actually the finale of Carnival of the Animals. So it doesn't have a specific animal associated with it. It's supposed to be like the ending, kind of like an ending paragraph in writing. It's not a specific topic, it's not one thing, but it's kind of tying it all up and ending the piece of music. If we were going to sit in a concert hall or like a theater and watch the whole thing be performed. However, Disney took and made their own kind of spin on it. So it is the finale, and there really isn't technically an animal associated with it. But for Fantasia 2000, Disney decided that the flamingo would be a good animal to accompany the music in this piece. So you're going to see some flamingos. It's not quite the same format as the one we just watched. And this one is for Allegro fast. So we're going from slow to fast to get the extremes, and then we'll go back and feel that middle tempo. Again, you should be keeping the steady beat with something. This is a 2-minute video, and it's the longest one. The rest of them are really short, and the elephant one was pretty short. So, like I said, a marker, a baby sibling, a pet, your nose, your head, whatever you want to do. I'm probably going to pat Mickey's hat for this one because it gets hard to move his little arm because it is a pretty quick song. So, back down to my smaller version of me, and I have to do this every time, which is a super fun thing that happens with this. And we're going to go over to this video, which is Allegro fast. Let me let this little introduction happen. This introduction here really doesn't have quite a tempo. It's just the attention-grabbing introduction. There we go. And I think I'd like to make it a little bit louder. There we go. And I don't know about you, I've never seen a flamingo that yo-yos before. Looks like everybody else is not too happy about his incredible yo-yoing skills. It's a very quick tempo, but many of their movements match the steady beat. So it helps you keep up along with it. That was very rude. Plot twist. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that one too. So that was our Allegro fast, and you can tell there was a big difference between slow and fast. So now we're going to go to the medium tempo, the andante, the walking tempo, which is the lion from Carnival of the Animals. And this one is not like the other two. It's super interesting in its own way, and it's not super long, so again, keep that steady beat. Okay, so that was our 3 tempos. And now we're going to talk about 2 elements of music that have to do with tempo but are not the set tempo that we start the music out with. And that is accelerando, which is getting faster, and ritardando, which means getting slower. And if we were to see these written in a musical score, we might see the whole entire word, or more likely we might see an abbreviation, ACC for accelerando and RIT for ritardando. And remember, these are also Italian words, getting faster or getting slower, gradually. There is a piece in Carnival of the Animals called The Kangaroo that shows getting faster and then getting slower. It's very what we call free with its tempo. So it doesn't really have a strict tempo. The entire piece is just getting a little faster, getting a little slower, getting a little faster, getting a little slower. And we might call this rubato, which is basically means it doesn't have a strict tempo. It's very free formed. But as we're listening to it, I really want you to hear the getting faster and getting slower. So really quick, I'm going to make sure that we're on the right thing here. Make my window smaller. And it's not going to go. I have to totally resize it again. That's not a problem. Here we go. I float around. I can finally fly like a fairy just on the computer screen. So we're not going to try and keep the tempo on this. I just want you to watch and listen and really feel that getting faster, getting slower feeling. Slower. And it always seems to be getting faster as the notes get higher, so hear that and notice that as well. And that was it. Not super long, but it gave you that getting faster, getting slower feeling pretty easily. So that is it for our lesson on tempos today.